last one, I said with number one, what are the top 3 questions that you would like to ask this board? But I decided we're going to attempt to answer them tonight, but I would like to know if you did have a question to ask us.
Not at this time, sir.
Okay.
In our reserve closing.
Councilman Kareem.
You previously talked about proactive measures to curtail crime. Elaborate on that a little bit. What would you do?
What we're going to do, Councilman, is again, this has been a point of contention about the substations, and it's a beautiful concept. But I don't want officers sitting in substations when they can be out visualizing what is going on within the community, when they can be out making personal contacts and going from door to door, knocking on doors. That's what I want.
So that's a proactive measure?
Definitely.
I mean, what else? What else would you do? The substations?
There's a lot. We will, again, do directed patrol when there are high crime areas. We're going to load up. We're going to send officers in there, and we're going to take care of the problem. And we're not going to leave until the problem's taken care of. I think over the years, and it's not necessarily combined or confined, if you will, to the Columbus Police Department, but across the nation, I think we pull out too quick. Is my standpoint of view. I think if you have cancer and you only get a part of it, it's coming back. So my thing is provide us with the manpower to send them in to annihilate whatever the problem is, and when we fix the problem, then we leave. We'll move to the next area that we need to take care of.
What are your thoughts about ethics as a police officer?
It's you got to have it. And it's not just as a police officer. It's as a person. You need to maintain the highest ethical standard that you possibly can, and especially if you're out there leading, because there are people that are watching you. And if you slip, then they think it's okay for them to do the same thing.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Gavin.
Chief, you've been here for, 24 years, 25?
January the 18th of this next month will make my 24th year.
You almost got an anniversary then, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a gang problem in Columbus?
We have gangs, yes, sir.
How much experience do you have working with these gangs and solving some of these crimes?
I've been on gang task force, over my career. I literally, through self-training, if you will, learned the logistics. When we would confiscate gang material, I took that material home and learned it. I can actually talk the talk and sometimes walk the walk. That's it. So I know what's going on. And I'm not going to stand here and tell you that we don't, because we all know that wouldn't be true.
Currently, what are you and your staff doing to curtail some of that activity?
We're policing when we identify, again, problem areas. We're going in, and my main thing is, again, the police department can't solve these problems by themselves. It'll never happen. We're doing the very best that we can to make contacts in the community and to assure those individuals, even on conditions of anonymity, that we're willing to work with them. We just need a phone call. You wouldn't believe how many people call me and how many times I've given my phone number out. So if they don't feel comfortable at this juncture with calling 911 or a particular officer, they can call me.
Why do you think the people do not feel comfortable talking to the Columbus Police Department?
Everyone does not. Okay, we talk to a lot of people, but there seems to be a misconception that within the city of Columbus, everyone hates the police. No one talks to them. we're not relating, and that's a falsehood. It's not true. So we have people that are law-abiding citizens, and they call us. They call 911. But now, if I were a 78-year-old lady, and there are gang members in my neighborhood, I'd probably be sort of afraid too. So that's why it's important that the people get out of the cars, that they put their souls to the concrete, and they start knocking on doors so that they can establish a rapport with these people. It's real simple.
Here recently, it seems like we've had an extensive outbreak of criminal activity inside the city with break-ins and thefts and so forth. What are you and the police department doing to kind of curtail some of this?
We're aggressively patrolling, and we're making arrests, a lot of arrests.
In your opinion, what should the attitude of the Columbus Police Department be toward the citizens of Columbus?
Respect. I want people to treat, and I tell people this every day, officers need to treat the people they come in contact with much like they want other officers to treat their family members if they were to have interaction. That's the key.
That's all I have.
Chief, discuss community policing, neighborhood watch, and foot patrol within the community.
In terms of what we're doing now, or just in general? Okay.
In general.
Okay. It's what we need to be doing. Community policing is the cornerstone of my policing philosophy. And I think I've already set the standard for that by meeting with the pastors. Without the community, we're all lost. You've got to have community input. What's the second one again, Mayor? I apologize for that. Neighborhood watch. We're constantly exploring new venues. We've started a couple of new neighborhood watch programs within the Columbus Police Department. We've got a couple on the table that we're going to start. We're strengthening and adding to the ones that we've already got. We've got new people buying into the concept, and I'm real proud about this because someone mentioned earlier that Mr. Box, that he's been getting a lot of emails, and we're trying to communicate. Communication is, in fact, the key to success as it relates to policing.
Foot patrol.
Sir?
Police foot patrol.
We've been doing our share of it in the downtown area. We've also been doing our share of it in the, whenever we are having, I hate to use the terminology high crime, because if you have, in some neighborhoods, if you have 4 or 5 burglaries, now don't get me wrong, that would be a high crime situation in that area, but I mean, somewhere else you might have 20, within the week. So subsequently, we're sending officers in those locations. We're being highly visible. We're also engaging in engaging in other activities that I don't want to mention right now. I mean, we're doing some other things that I feel more comfortable with not mentioning.
Okay. As interim chief, what type of relationship do you have between you and your subordinates, your administrative staff, and your patrol officers?
A wonderful relationship.
A wonderful relationship.
Wonderful. And I say that because I don't go in with all the answers, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know everything. I draw from the experience that's already in the Columbus Police Department.
Councilman Taylor?
Chief, do you think you can command the staff that you have now?
Certainly.
Tell me, give me some of the ideas or things that you have to make it better.
To make the police department better?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
from a command standpoint?
We're going to set the command staff, we're gonna become fully staffed, and then we're going to hold people accountable. There's some of the ideas that I have, I've already shared with you. I'm going to draw from the wealth of knowledge that's already in the Columbus Police Department. Someone, as it relates to narcotics, that may not even be working in narcotics right now, they may have the answer for all our problems. But if we don't communicate effectively throughout the ranks, then you're gonna miss the boat. That's it in a nutshell. So my thing is, overall, I want to, I've been doing it, is cause people to communicate across divisions. I don't care if you're in the narcotics division, if you're in the criminal investigations division, or if you're in patrol. If you saw someone out there last night that may have broken into someone's house and they disappeared and you know who they are, then shame on you for not passing the information along to the criminal investigations division. We need to be as one.
Councilman Macon?
Chief, what would be, what experience do you possess, and how have you been prepared yourself for this position?
I've worked in every division and headed every division with the exception of narcotics. I've trained. I've listened. I've looked at different leadership styles. I've adopted what I viewed as being the good of the good. And the bottom line is, and I'll say this again, I listen to what the people say.
And how have you prepared yourself for this position if you was to become police chief?
By exemplifying integrity. I've been dependable, and I have been a hard worker, and I've listened. And I don't know what else to tell you.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Ball?
Chief McQueen, there's been a lot of conversation out in the community that the mayor and city council micromanage the police department. Do you agree with that? And if not, do you think you've received the type of support since you've been interim chief that you should have received? And what can we do to better support the department other than hiring 10, 15 more men?
Okay. I have not personally been micromanaged. What will make it better is whoever it is that you appoint as the chief of police. You need to empower that individual to do his job and trust him. Turn the reins loose and let him do his job. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. And be supportive. It's real simple. But in terms of micromanagement, if you're gonna hire a chief, then you literally, and he's to be successful, the organization is to be successful, then you can't do it. It's not gonna work. It's literally not gonna work.